Most of you guys won't believe it. Some will. Andre Drummond gets John Beilein canned in Cleveland already. But we back. Mercy Sports Talk. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, bell icon button, share the video. And don't forget to check out my other channel, Goodfellas Sports TV, for more sports, music, news, and entertainment. But yeah, one of the Cleveland beat writers, broke the news on Twitter early this morning. Said that, Andre Drummond told the Cleveland Cavalier brass that he will not opt in or not stay in Cleveland if John Beilein was retained, and said this situation was worse than being in Detroit. And I pointed that out when he got traded. He went to a downgrade. All right, a lot of young players that got a lot of potential. The kid from USC, Darius Garland, Colin Sexton, they got some young guys there, but he said this is worse than being in Detroit. And he already using his pull to get to Cleveland to do what they want him to do. What he want them to do, excuse me. But he says, just now says Andre in 2 short weeks with the Cavs had already made it clear Beilein was back. He was gone after this season, and that this was worse situation than in Detroit. Side note, he shares an agent with Kevin Love. So Kevin Love has already been complaining about Cleveland wanting to get out, making cryptic messages on Instagram. And so Tristan Thompson's in the contract year. It was expected for him to be bought out. Don't know if it's going to happen or he's just going to play it out. But I wouldn't expect him to be back next year as well. But, give Andre Drummond, a guy who's not even an all-star, to a guy that you gave nothing up for, literally nothing. You gave 2 expiring contracts, a 2nd-round pick up for. To give him that power over your franchise like he LeBron James is mind-blowing. It's mind-blowing. Andre Drummond didn't have that much pull in Detroit. So they must really value Andre Drummond being part of their future. They must really going to pay Andre Drummond a max contract, a super max contract, because he can opt out of his deal. Now, Andre, he can opt out of $28 million and see who else going to give him some money. But I guarantee you, nobody else going to pay him that money in this league. Nobody. So, at the end of the day, I would call this bluff. Because where else is he going to get $28 million? Nobody paying him that. Even if Detroit say, "Oh, we sorry," they not paying him that. Now, that might be it might be a situation where somebody pay him that, like the Knicks or another team may pay him that type of money. But to me, in my opinion, I don't believe it. I don't believe it to be true. But to give this dude, who ain't even the top 20 player in the league in a lot of people's opinion, to give him this power over this franchise, he been here in 2 weeks. I mean, really, are you serious? Kevin Love didn't have the power. Colin Sexton didn't have the power. Darius Garland didn't have that power. Okay? None of them. Andre Drummond instantly comes to Cleveland, and he becomes like Bone Thugs Harmony of Cleveland. You know what I'm saying? But, John Beilein, it wasn't a fit. I think, obviously, that's it. I don't think it took Andre Drummond to put the Cavaliers on notice to let them know that, John Beilein wasn't in. Beilein was falling asleep. He called the player thugs. The writing was on the wall. But for Andre Drummond to sit there and demand and use his leverage, I wouldn't care if he came or didn't come back. Andre Drummond not going to be the difference in Cleveland between the championship and not making the playoffs and not getting one. He ain't LeBron. Cleveland let people come to their franchise and dictate stuff. Only guy should be able to dictate what goes on is LeBron. Kevin Love been probably screaming about this and Colin Sexton been screaming about this the whole year. And it take for somebody that came here for 2 trash players and a 2nd-round pick to let them realize that John Beilein wasn't it. Yeah, he right. Cleveland is a worse situation. If he opt out, he opt out. It ain't like y'all gave up nothing for him. You know what I'm saying? $28 million a year. Where you else going to get that at? It's already shown. The Hawks wasn't willing to give it to him. The Knicks wasn't willing to give it to him. The Clippers wasn't willing to give him. So what better situation is he going to get $28 million in? Maybe he consider a better situation than New York Knicks because it's home. Same situation. Worse than Cleveland and Detroit. Obviously, the Hawks don't need you. Houston don't have the money to give you. No. Maybe Dallas. But it hardly have to be signed and trade. So they letting Dre dictate what goes on in Cleveland. Never will he do that in Detroit. Never. This dude, like, whew, Dan Gilbert need to get better. All right, they run his franchise into the ground. Well, he did that anyway when he ran LeBron off the first time. But John Beilein, I know he didn't see this one coming as far as Andre Drummond being a nail in his coffin. But he lost his job at Michigan now. Jawan is recruiting good players, and I don't know where he's gonna go. Maybe back West Virginia. Is Bobby Huggins still there? I'm not sure. I ain't really paid them attention in a long time. So we'll see what happens, man. But John Beilein is out. JB Bickerstaff will become the interim coach, thanks to Andre Drummond. I think Beilein, when he traded Drummond for Drummond, knew Drummond would be the nail in his coffin. He spoke so highly of him, but they smile in your face all the time. They want to take your place. Them backstabbers. Motor City Sports Talk. Let me know what you guys think. Don't forget me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Reach out to the email. All the information in the description. Want to make a donation? All the information in the Cash App, PayPal. Best way to donate is share the video. Let me know what you think in the comment section. We go.